Now we're going to continue with some of the teachings. This is the 13th installment of the Introduction to Kabbalah and Chassidus. Kabbalah specifically is Chassidus, which explains the Kabbalistic tradition. So there are those who say that what our generation needs more now is Chassidut, and to know what Chassidut is a whole discussion. But if you listen slowly, and you may become a Chassid yet, which is a great thing indeed. Now, what's the difference between the vision of Ezekiel, and the vision of Isaiah? The entire substance of their prophecies, the entire substance of the prophecies of Isaiah and Ezekiel was all that is needed for man to serve God in that arena. What is that arena? We shall see. The Zohar teaches us. We must ask, if Ezekiel was a faithful prophet, then why did he reveal everything he saw in a prophetic vision? If the king invites a man to look at his private treasures in his private treasure chamber, is it proper for that person to divulge everything he saw to the press? It could be worthy of the death penalty. Yet it is clear that Ezekiel was a faithful prophet. He had permission from God to reveal everything that he revealed. Furthermore, everything he revealed was necessary. The Zohar concludes that all that Ezekiel revealed was necessary for the people of Israel to know at that time to survive the ensuing Babylonian exile. They were accustomed to great delights while living in the land of Israel, while the Babylonian exile was going to be harsh. As a parenthesis, they were living in the lap of luxury at the end of the First Temple period. And then when the Assyrians and Babylonians came and destroyed the temple, and they were taken away in shackles as slaves in year 586 before the Common Era, it was a tremendous shock. So they needed a special revelation. Therefore they needed to receive at that time the knowledge of Maseh Merkava, the workings of Ezekiel's chariot. In other words, how God connects with the world, dressed in the form that it was dressed in. Like the Gemara teaches us in the Talmud, it says, Isaiah was like a townsman who saw the king, whereas Ezekiel was like a simple country farmer who saw the king. The townsman has access to the king. He may see the king coming in and out of his palace. He may have been invited to one of the king's royal events, hear a speech of the king. He may have even met with the king personally. However, the countryman, the country simple man, would not have such access. So for the simple man and the country to see the king might be a greater intense feeling than is Isaiah, who was more accustomed to speaking and meeting with the king. So how would the knowledge of Maseh Merkava, the secrets of Ezekiel's chariot, help the Jews to survive the exile? Remember that Merkava means to combine different things, like we said in the last section. It's the secret of theodicy. That's the secret of the Merkava. Knowing that Havayahu Elohim is really the secret of Merkava. Merkava means to combine, to connect different things. So to see that it's all one, to see that the judgment and the difficulties we undergo are really coming from the same one source, and are all expressions of God's connection to us. That's what's being combined. That's what's being coming here. Ezekiel saw how the furthermost garments, the most outside and distant experiences, also conceal God's light and are under God's providence. And this is the essence of Maseh Merkava, as explained above. This is hinted at in how the vision of the chariot Ezekiel saw a storm wind coming from the north, a great cloud, a burning fire, and the light of Noga surrounding it. These are the klipot, and Ezekiel taught us that God conducts the world also through them. As it says, the storm wind in the book of Psalms, chapter 148, verse 8, the storm wind performs God's word. Ruach Sa'ara Oseh Dvaro. Of the storm winds, it says in the Zohar, this is the wind which agitates man's body. Eliyahu managed to subdue the storm wind beneath him, as it is written in Malachim 2, chapter 2. And Eliyahu ascended to heaven in a storm wind. In the Likutei Torah of the Arizal, the Chaim Vital writes that concerning the 38th chapter of Iyov, the book of Job. So he mentions there that God showed Job how may he be blessed, rules over the snake, and how the storm wind performs God's word. God is coming through everything in the world. We don't always see it. God sustains everything, is hidden everywhere, fills the whole world with his glory. No matter, everything that God created was created for his glory. We don't always see it. Sometimes it seems the opposite. Sometimes it seems horrible. But God is always there somewhere. This matter is hinted at in the Zohar, in the verse in the book of Bamidbar, Numbers. Every man shall camp by his flag. Yet it is certainly so that within the holy supernal tree did God seal them with his seal, as we have established earlier. It is written in the first chapter of Ezekiel, and the form of their faces was the face of man, and the face of the lion to the right, and the eagle, and so forth. This is to say that the face of man was included in each of the four faces of the chariots. Their faces faced the four directions, north, east, south, west, each face different from the other, but each one included the face of man. Michael to the right, Gavriel to the left, Uriel to the front, Raphael to the back, and the Shekhinah, the indwelling presence of God, above them. The passage of the Zohar on the Merkavah teaches us that the entire matter of Israel's connection to God, God's providence through his management of the world, and the order of God's conduct of effluence in life, it's all taught in the Merkavah. The passage in the Merkavah teaches all of these matters. I repeat, the Merkavah in the first chapter of Ezekiel teaches about Israel's connection to God, God's providence through his management of the world, and the order of the way he conducts the flow of his abundance and life into the material world. Eventually it arrives at how God conducts the world through even the outermost garments, which we will discuss in the next installment.